reject the prescriptions of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, Falana tells federal government. Exactly. The advices, economic advices, financial advices that both World Bank and IMF have been given to Nigeria have all been frustrating and inimical, has been very, very bad for the nation. It's been wrecking the nation's economy and then to the advantage of this World Bank and world bodies. And that is very bad. And they keep dominating us. They put us in a situation where we are at their mercy. How long are we going to continue like that? Even the commonest person in Nigeria knows that, all the advices coming from World Bank that are ill advices against the progress of Nigeria. But our leaders would not listen. I just don't understand why our leaders cannot just see through the lenses and know that this World Bank and International Monetary Fund are not for the interest of Nigeria. Now, Falana has given the advice. Let's take into the details. In an interview with Chinese television, Femi Falana son urged the federal government to disregard the recommendations put forth by the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. The seasoned legal practitioner expressed his reservations regarding the prescriptions advocated by these international financial institutions. Falana, known for his advocacy and legal practice, cautioned against blindly adhering to the policy directives of the IMF and the World Bank. He emphasized the importance of considering Nigeria's unique socioeconomic context before implementing any external recommendation. Falana's remarks underscored the need for independent decision-making that aligns with the nation's interests and priorities. Exactly. His statement comes at a time when the Nigerian government faces increasing pressure to address economic challenges and implement reforms suggested by international organizations. However, Falana's stance reflects a broader sentiment among some domestic stakeholders who question the suitability and effectiveness of external interventions. So while acknowledging the significance of global cooperation and expertise, Falana emphasized the importance of domestic sovereignty in policy making. So he highlighted the need for the government to prioritize the welfare and development of its citizens above external pressures and agendas. So the call to reject IMF and World Bank prescriptions echoes long-standing debates surrounding Nigeria's economic policies and external dependencies. It reflects a desire among some segments of society for greater autonomy and self-reliance in charting the country's economic course. So Falana remarks are likely to fuel discussions within Nigeria's policy circles and stimulate further reflection on the balance between external guidance and domestic autonomy in shaping the nation's economic future. He said he rejects the prescriptions of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. That is it. We should. The federal government doesn't need to be told. If not for some selfish reasons they are listening to World Bank, they don't have to. That is it. Because they are lazy. The World Bank will always put in a situation where you continue to borrow from them. The IMF will do the same thing. So, and they will make you not to be independent, so that they will continue to manipulate your economy. That is one thing you should know. But unfortunately, we are ruled by people who reason from their innards. They will not see anything anything wrong because of their own selfish interest. And this is not good for us. Okay. So there are a few comments from what Falana has suggested, the advice Falana has given to federal government. Somebody is saying they are the devils. It is long overdue for Nigeria to say no to their economic prescriptions. That is it. They are the devil. They are the devil of Africa, not just Nigeria alone. They just want to disintegrate the country by steering civil unrest through discontent, due economic hardship, and falling standards of living. They want Nigeria to break. Do you think so? I doubt. What we should be asking ourselves as a country is, are we strong enough economically to reject this advice? We've squandered a very large chunk of our riches in the last 8 years. I weep for my beloved country. Have you? So the question, when I look at it, on the other school of thought, may not really be a problem. We are the biggest problem Nigeria has. Okay, Nigerian is the architect of his own problem because the politicians are doing the evil. If the politicians and the people in power and authority can just for once stop stealing, stop looting, stop embezzlement, stop all this financial fraud, I tell you, and then they recover all that have been stolen back into the federal government coffers, Nigeria will be great again. That is it. But will they do that? That is what, we don't know. Quite unfortunate. The typical Nigerian, an average Nigerian politician knows the right thing to do. That natural common sense of good and evil will tell you exactly what to do. They just don't want to do it because of their selfish interest. They'll be clouded by their selfish interest. And that is the reason they don't want to do the good thing for Nigeria. Yeah. And somebody say, Mr. Know It All. What do you mean? Okay, absolutely correct. The world bodies were lending indiscriminately without assessing the performances of previous loans. Okay, they noticed reckless borrowing, especially ways and means advantages. Okay, advances, overspending, treasury mismanagement, misplacement of priorities, etc., without halting the situation. Okay, so the thing is that we need to review our performances in the past. Does it mean that we cannot? We can review everything. Unfortunately, the government doesn't want to do that because of their selfish interest. And that is the very bad situation, I'll tell you the truth. How can the government exist? You can't do a complete audit and conclude it. You can't conclude an investigation to a logical conclusion. You can't just project Nigerians. Nothing. What is the interest is their first interest. Their personal interest is what they put first before the interest of the country and the interest of the people that they are serving. Meanwhile, the money that they are dividing and shattering the way they like is actually taxpayers' money. So taxpayers are supposed to have voice in the government. Unfortunately, they will not. Okay? They will not. They will not. Listening to World Bank and IMF is like burying Nigeria alive. And they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. It's quite unfortunate. Now that Falana has come up openly to tell them, then, because Falana sometimes is the voice of the public, he stands as the voice of the masses. He has come out plainly to tell them, ignore the advices, economic advices from World Bank and IMF. Accept them to your own detriment at your own peril. Reject them for your own good. Because when you are good, they see their story around you will change. So we need to be independent in our policy making process, okay? So we can manage our situations in our own Nigerian unique ways. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.